Hello, and welcome to the Roughneck Minute, a Movies by Minute podcast where we go over the movie Starship Troopers 1 minute at a time. I'm your host, Johann.
And I'm your other host, Matthew.
And we are at minute 93. It begins with Rashek telling everyone to fall back in the compound, and ends with the warrior bug getting a kill.
Yeah, man. So we're finally, getting off this rock. Rock boat's coming down, and we're filing back into the compound because it is getting overrun.
Yeah. Well, in the previous minute, we had that scene where it looks like it's just a sea of warrior bugs just surrounding the compound at this point. And if I remember correctly, when they're walking up to this compound, it was nestled at the edge of a canyon, so they really had nowhere else to run to.
Yeah, so actually, I may have wanted to do this towards the very end of the last couple minutes, but looking at the set of this compound, there's no back. It's just against a canyon, but the canyon isn't really that large. Like, looking at the pictures of the production set and everything, this whole entire set has like the missing back on it. There's just nothing there.
Yeah.
No wall, no nothing.
So maybe that's part of the job of the location spotter, or they try and find the right location to film at. So maybe there was an opening in the back when they were kind of filming the scene of them walking up to it, but just the way that they captured it made it seem like there isn't. That way they can build a compound and still have space in the back for anything else that they needed, like lights, trailers, etc. Just anything that could be taken off camera.
Yeah, that's pretty much exactly it, because you don't see the back part of the compound at all. It's all obscured by the buildings and everything. Or, I'm sorry, the prefab buildings.
Yeah, which is just easy enough to take down and set back up.
Mm-hmm.
Which I think was the full intention of most of these. So,
but yeah, man, I mean, this scene kind of gets to me a little bit too, just because, we're fine. The tables have turned. The Roughnecks are now in the middle of everything. It's even worse than the last minute because they're spilling over.
So it's really getting worse because the warrior bugs are starting to climb on top of the dead bodies of their compadres or whatever you would call them.
Comrades.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a bug society. I'm pretty sure they're all communists.
But I'm trying to find the right word because they also have no form of democracy, so I wouldn't call them communists. You know what I mean?
Better dead than red, man.
Spoken like a true 1940s poster.
Hell yeah.
So, because there's a couple that they're shooting, and even though it looks like the bug gets knocked off its balance, it doesn't fall, which means it's probably sitting on a platform of dead bugs. So, if you go to about scene 3209, there's a portion where someone's trying to get away and a bug quickly snatches him and pulls him over the wall.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
This is where it really starts to get kind of real, that the way that the hive is actually fighting. Because other than the fact that they kind of laid this trap for the people here, this is like a really good type of fight here.
Yeah.
So 3211, we get this really gruesome scene.
Ugh.
The bug just severs the entire spinal column of this dude. If you pause it just right, you'll see all of the blood just squirting out of the wound. This is awesome.
Yeah, and it also really, really disturbed me as a little kid too, or when I watched this in the theater, because I was thinking to myself, yeah, these guys are okay, they have armor and everything. No, that bug just sliced through the armor completely. I didn't even think about Shizumi or anyone else who got cut in half or bisected or dissected or anything like that during the other parts of this movie. But this part in particular, where they just did this long vertical cut down his back armor, I was like, their armor's useless. Why are they even wearing it?
I think it's just a precautionary type of armor, but it's not meant to stop everything.
No, I know that. But it was back then I was like, this is horrible.
I know, but it's kind of the same with our modern military. They still wear some form of body armor, but it's not meant to stop all bullets.
I
Yeah, so
understand that, but they're not going up against, giant arachnids either.
yeah, but I just don't think that they could possibly put that much armor on him that would protect him from these bugs. Like,
I don't know. Just to me at that age, when I was that young, I was like, they're going through them like butter.
yeah, that is true. But that scene was pretty gruesome to see it in the theater because the blood just like splurts just right out, and it's a really good effect though.
Oh yeah, it totally is. I mean, the dude's like whole entire back is just treated for this, so like when it happens, it gets ripped off and it has like the exposed like fake skin, a bunch of like blood bags and everything inside of it. Has something that comes off when the bug comes down to. I think this is actually one of the little robots as well, to one of the puppets that goes down his back. His back is treated. It has probably blood bags in it, maybe a few condoms of blood in there, because what they used back in the day for like special effects, especially like blood or lots of blood, was condoms filled with with the fake blood.
I can see that because then it wouldn't leave a whole lot of remnants once it pops.
Exactly, and also it's pretty easy to pop once you get it.
Yeah,
like it's not like a balloon that's kind of thick; it's somewhat thin for her pleasure.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's viable and it works.
Huh? I never knew that. Never thought about that.
Well, next time we're shooting a horror movie, we need to stock up on condoms.
Okay. All right. So when do we shoot the horror movie? I think I'm good.
Okay.
But remember, people, you can always get yours with donations at Planned Parenthood.
You can also pick up condoms, I think, from there's a new site that you can get them kind of like those razors. You can have them delivered to your door now too, apparently.
Yeah, but Planned Parenthood needs donations, so I'm going to endorse that.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
I'm going to endorse Planned Parenthood. They help people.
They also come in cool colors.
Yep. So, anyways, let's get out of the PSA moment right quick. And
okay, Davey.
At 32:16, we have another kill. Like, these kills are just coming rapidly.
Yeah.
But this one is one of my favorites.
Oh, I know. It is such a good one.
I can only assume that they did this on a suspension, like type of like what's it called, cables.
Yes.
Because this was just awesome. So if you kind of don't remember the movie too well, there's a soldier that was jumping down from the top, and a bug comes up and just spears him in both lungs from behind, and he's just hovering there, being held up by the scythe of this bug. Like, it's pretty awesome.
This is a equivalent of a 360 no scope kill for a bug.
Yeah,
because he got him in the middle while he was jumping.
Yeah, and so the guy like kind of does some like death spasms. Like, he's screaming, but then you see him convulsing, and it's just pretty cool the way it's done. This is just a really awesome effect. But now we're going minute over minute. You see that it's complete CGI. There was probably like green spots on his chest so that they can put the scythe. Because if you pause it at 32:18 and you look at the scythe on the right side of the screen, it's kind of floating in a way.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah, but on screen when you're just watching this at regular time instead of pausing it every literally every 10 seconds like we are, this scene was amazing.
Yeah.
The entire outpost was just an amazing moment in this movie. And like our guest from last week, JR, like, he was just excited for this scene with the outpost, and I can absolutely understand why. This is an amazing scene.
No, it definitely is. And I mean, as I keep saying, I wish it was the actual climax of the movie, because the actual climax of the movie is just kind of, I want to say, like a fart in the wind compared to this.
Yeah, absolutely. So about like 32:22, just 4 seconds after we'll say quote unquote kill, because all he did was weaken him.
He does scream too.
Yeah, But then he does his tossing motion and he throws the guy into the 3 waiting warrior bugs right there, just waiting to just tear him apart.
It's starting to make me think a little bit that they may have some malice a little bit for humans.
Yeah. But
like, hey guys, check this out. I'm going to get killed right now, but have some fun.
Yeah. Well, it's also one of the things that JR brought up last week was the hive mind mentality about death.
Mm-hmm.
Like they don't care so much about their companion dying or their own death, so long as the hive thrives.
Come on, comrades, they're communists. I mean, what else could they be? I mean, yeah, they're a hive, but what else are hives? Communism.
Don't you have a bunch of like rusky material and patches? Yeah.
I don't listen to Russian number stations on the regular. Don't worry about me.
I mean, I have a Mosin, but it was used to help the U.S. win World War II. So.
Well, no, wasn't it Ukrainian made?
Well, yeah, but they were used by the Russians as well.
Yeah, that was still a block, I suppose.
Yeah, because the U.S. had... Shoot, which ones did they have?
They had the Springfield, the Grand, and the M1. No, I'm sorry, the M12, I believe.
Yeah, because...
No, that was Pacific Theater mostly, though.
Yeah, because the M1 was more of the Grant, wasn't it? The M1
Grand, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Even though both the Grant and the Mosin, they both used clips. The Springfield had a magazine, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, and that's why you get that little
ping.
That iconic pling. The Mosin kind of had that like rail system though, so you just shove the bullets down in there, but it wasn't really like a removable cartridge that it has on the bottom. It was more just like a space where it goes into.
Yeah, it definitely wasn't. You didn't get the ping as much as the M1 did.
Mm-hmm.
The M1 definitely had the ping, and that's because it actually ejected the clip out of it.
Yeah.
So, anywaysy, enough. Well, I'm sure there's going to be more gun talk, but enough gun talk for the moment.
Okay.
So, while everybody's kind of going into the compound with their backs turned, this is where Johnny and Diz kind of get the other roughnecks back and rush up and do some firing of their own, because they have been in the comms almost the entire time.
Yeah, they're trying to help the dude, or at least kill the bug that killed their comrade.
Yeah,
their compatriot.
Yeah, because I think they're realizing that no one is escaping safely at this point.
Yeah. Or not a lot of people, or like we're basically, they're coming out at a loss, at least. They know that.
Yeah.
And we see Razchek now, he says, here, give him everything you got.
Yeah. So, I'm starting to change my way of thinking of going over the script moment by moment instead of the entire thing. Because so at this point, like near the end, I'm starting to realize a lot of the script has been changed around versus the beginning.
Well, remember also, this whole entire movie was originally supposed to be this only outpost scene. It was the bug hunt at Outpost 9 or whatever it was.
Yeah, I understand, but we've already seen General Owen's death.
Mm-hmm.
This is the minute where General Owen's supposed to die.
Oh, but yeah, because you said that he was in the pile with all the wounded and everything too. So does that mean like the wounded get like massacred as well?
In a way. So, okay, so
I'm quizzically looking at my computer right now because in a way, like what?
Well, all right, so yeah, he's with the wounded, but for some, trying to read this like the way it's done. This is a minute where they're talking about how they're running out of magazines, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, so Ace. Remember, they were in the Marauder suits where they had actual nukes in their arsenal. The there's a scene that's supposed to be when we look at the bugs coming in, as they're running across, their legs are cracking the steaming glass underneath them because they've just fired off that many nukes.
Oh, wow.
Like they've nuked the area, and then bugs are still coming in.
Dude, that'd be even more scary.
Yeah, and Ace mentions that they must have killed like 1 million bugs already.
Jeez.
So as they're going into the center of the compound, General Owen is still he's stumbling along. He's just, I don't know. It says here, Sugar Watkins sees General Owen in a compound below, stumbling aimlessly among his dead soldiers. So he's definitely in a, like, he has, I'm not sure if I want to call it PTSD because he's still on the field. It's not post-traumatic. This is trauma.
This is like shell shock kind of thing.
Yeah, he's having a breakdown. Like he's broken down at this point. And then Watkins is telling him to stay with the wounded because he's obviously with the dead at this point.
Yeah. And
Rashek says, "Oh, the hell with him." Now, when the hopper starts streaming into the compound, they kill Owen because he's easy pickings. So he's not killed by that dying hopper that we first saw in the script. He's actually died because of a precise attack by a hopper.
Okay.
And this is where they're all in the compound. So the way the scene is looking is you have all these bugs climbing over the walls. So they're trying to man like everyone that's coming up over them. And you have these hoppers that are coming in from the skies. So they're just being bombarded by bugs at this point.
Yeah.
And this is when Owen dies. And I'm pretty sure Rashek isn't he's not too heartbroken about it. But also this is supposed to be the reveal in the script. Because it's not really talked about in the script of what the compound looks like. But obviously, like we discussed, there had to be some reasons that it was changed because of filming needs. They're supposed to be surrounded 360 degrees.
Okay.
So they are just in a kill zone at this point. Everywhere around them is a bug trying to get to them.
Jeez.
Yeah, so it's supposed to be a little bit more suspenseful, a little bit more anxiety building on this attack in the script, but obviously needs of the shoot obviously kind of trumps the script in a certain way, and the way it's just done on screen is still suspenseful and anxiety building because there's like 3 kills in less than 20 seconds, and if you were to see that in real life, that would just that could break a person.
Oh, definitely it would. This kind of scene wasn't in the book at all. Mostly because the Marauder suits in there could jump, and they could jump far as well too. So when the troopers went down in the book, they were in like a line, or they would like kind of close up, like form like a pincer kind of move, but they would be like half a click or half a kilometer between each other because they could jump so far.
Yeah, because in this, because I'm not too familiar how the Marauders work, because I'm assuming it was supposed to be shown on the script, like what they could possibly do. But I did notice that in the script that it says that Johnny jumps from the communications tower to Rashek in a Marauder.
Okay.
So I think that was actually the first time in the script that it mentioned that the Marauder actually jumps.
I'm just under the assumption, just because it is still canon and it goes along with it, if Eddie Neumeier wanted to have the Marauders in this one, he probably would have made them just like he made them in Starship Troopers 3. In that one, they were just kind of clunky mech warrior looking things, which is awesome, but they didn't jump.
Yeah. Well, the original idea of this was the outpost. Like, It seems like maybe this is where they started. And they were talking about everything that they wanted with the hoppers, the nukes, and the Marauders and everything. And then everything kind of stemmed from that, where they had to have a beginning that met to the middle, and then from the middle went out.
Yeah, maybe Edward Neumeier kind of had this as, instead of a, this long movie, maybe he wanted like a long epic extended version of Lord of the Rings kind of movie.
Yeah, and if you're submitting kind of like a screenplay of like how you would pitch the movie, this would be a good way to do it because you don't reveal the beginning or the end, but you pitch them a really exciting scene for them to shoot. If you're trying, if you're trying to get funding, you want to give them the most exciting part, and this is one of the most exciting parts in a movie.
Yeah.
So, I think that might be the reason why it was written such a way, because the movie was, what was the name of the original movie? Not Starship Troopers.
It's I think a Bug Hunt at Outpost 9 or Outpost 8 or something like that.
Yeah. So it sounds like it was precisely designed for this outpost with no beginning or end created.
I have a theory now.
Are we going to be in trouble?
No, we're not going to get in trouble. Not yet, anyway.
All right.
But remember how Starship Troopers 2, Heroes of the Federation, is just all taking place on top of a tower where all the troopers are like locked in, they can't move around or anything like that. What if Bug Hunt at Outpost 9 was exactly that? They couldn't get out of the outpost. And it was like kind of like a survival horror, kind of like not Alone in the Dark. What was that Vin Diesel movie? Darkness, or the one where they're on the planet?
Chronicles of Riddick?
The one before that.
Riddick?
No, the one before that.
Fast and Furious?
No. It's okay, because Chronicles of Riddick is like a 3-part movie. Like, you got Chronicles of Riddick, and then you have the one where he's on the planet, and Katie Sackhoff is in it as well too. But he gets left there by the Necromongers. But the one before the Chronicles of Riddick is the one where it's like the survival horror, but they're on the like alien planet, and it's in the dark, and these bugs or these creatures come out at night only.
Pitch Black?
There it is. Thank you, Pitch Black.
Oh, okay. The one where he's wearing the funky goggles.
Well, I mean, that's because it's the first movie of the Chronicles of Riddick movie.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
He's the same character.
Okay, so forgive my ignorance, but I've never seen any of the Riddick movies.
That's okay, because they're honestly not that great, but they're a guilty pleasure of mine, and they're pretty darn good, I think. They're not a lot of people would like them.
Okay.
And it's a weird departure from the first movie, which is, again, a survival horror, scary monster movie, to the second one, which is a kind of like weird superhero political intrigue one, to the third one, which is, again, a survival horror kind of thing.
Yeah. Okay. So maybe someone out there is going to yell at me for the fact I haven't seen a single Riddick movie, but I haven't.
Fine. It's not Star Wars. It's not like anything that you'd be ashamed for not seeing.
No. So, but I just haven't seen them, so.
Yeah, well, I mean, take it or leave it, man. It's not bad, but I mean, it's not the best thing either. But like, if it's on, take a look.
Okay.
Hardcore recommendation from Matthew.
All
if it's on, take a look.
All right.
View it on a plane. How about that? If it's on an airplane, watch it.
Okay. Yeah. So the music's starting to swell. There's bugs, just like streaming over the walls at this point.
Things are looking futile as hell.
So at 32:35, there's something here that you brought to my attention that I had never noticed in a million years.
No, and that's the thing. I never noticed it until we started doing this minute by minute because, again, cinematography, your eyes are on the bugs streaming over. You don't look at the troopers. But there's a big spot right in the middle of the troopers, and you see those kind of canisters there. There are wires connected to those canisters.
It's so bugging me now that I see them because they didn't even try and hide it.
I think, again, they didn't care, or they didn't notice, or they just thought, hey, eyes are going to be on the bugs. They're not going to notice a darn thing.
I know, but geez, I can't believe I never noticed it because they're right there. They even did a better job hiding the wires in a Muppet movie than this.
They did a better job at hiding the wires for the dude who got skewered just a few seconds ago.
I know.
Well, again, I mean, that was what the eyes were on as well too. Our eyes
Yeah.
aren't on these barrels,
But
not yet, anyway.
But if for budget's sake, you can leave the wires there for this part, but it's later on that you remove them.
Yeah.
You know? Because here it's like it can be there and you're not even paying attention to them because nothing happens to it. But you're the one that brought it up to me, and now it's like, now I see it the entire time.
So I just stopped it and turned it on again as soon as the bug falls, because we see a little scene of Johnny Dizzy and all the other crew firing, going left and right, pretty much just taking shots at whatever comes over the wall. As soon as that one bug falls, they're gone. But then they come up again, and you see them pull the canisters, so it makes it look like something hit them.
No, at 3239, you can the canister in the far left, you can see the wires being pulled taut. You can see it like you can see the wires raising up from the ground, like someone's really prepping for it, like they're pulling it, making sure that the ropes are tight to each other at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Because you don't want any slack when you're pulling it. So they're gearing up for the pull. So that's when you start to see it disappear. Now it's kind of disappearing, probably because it's in the sun.
Yeah, and I'm thinking motion as well too.
But yeah, so you start to see it lift up and get taut. And when he pulls it, you can see slivers of the ropes at this point. It was just there was no attempt to hide it. It's just sunlight kind of hides it for you. But if you know it exists, then you see it at this point.
Yeah.
So the far left one is easy to see just because there's more of the line in the shadow of the other canisters. And because it's not a bright light white, it's kind of backed on a dark surface. Mm-hmm. You can see it. Because obviously that wherever the rope is being pulled from isn't in the direction of the troopers. It's off to the right by the ramp, which is how they hid some of the wires, is because it was pulled by the troopers. Maybe you would get in the way of the shot, but if you were pulling it to just any other angle other than the direction of the sun, you would be able to see the wires because it's just being caught in the shadow.
I've got another theory.
Space wizards?
This is not going to get us in trouble.
Space wizards with ropes?
No. So I'm thinking that this is definitely a goof, and probably the editor and Verhoeven or even Yost maybe did not see it. But when it was finally finished and they started doing test audiences and everything, they finally saw it. But then test audiences didn't even see it or even notice it, like we didn't for all this time. It's been almost 20 years for this movie. I'm sorry, it has been 20 years for this movie. Yeah,
it's like 25?
No, it's 20.
Yeah,
because
it's 20.
It was last year. 20 year
that's
anniversary.
Right, yeah.
But, I mean, we were doing this when we did the 20th anniversary, too. But it took 20 years for me to notice this thing. I don't think anyone else noticed or even cared at this point, because like if he did see it, he's like, oh well, did the test audiences say anything about it? No, they're all focused on the bugs. Okay, who cares?
Yeah,
no one's gonna notice it.
Yeah, I can see that as being a theory.
I maybe just like a point to laziness and like good movie making.
Yeah,
in the sense that you don't see it because you're focused on something else. But not good movie making and special effects, because, I mean, you can see it, obviously.
Yeah. So, we're at the point where they're really starting to kind of get, or build a lot of tension.
Mm-hmm.
Because at 44, this is where Diz says that she's out of ammo.
Well, Sugar does say beforehand that he is running low, and then Diz does say that she's out.
Yeah.
Now, I'm wondering something, too, because she clicks a couple times. That wouldn't click multiple times if it's an automatic. It would just click once, go into the safe position, and be ready for another magazine, wouldn't it?
See, that's where...
Because doing it's a bullpup, and it has a fire mechanism in the back as well too, but it doesn't multiple click unless there's gases to expel, because the the way the machine gun works basically is when you fire a round, the gases from the cartridge itself push the mechanism forward and then back to reload it. But if there's nothing there to push that back, it wouldn't do a multiple click like that. That's why I'm wondering what the heck this is.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
Ooh,
That it's supposed to kind of lock itself at a certain point.
what if this isn't a gas fed or a gas what is it, a gas mechanism? What if it's like what if it's like an electronic mechanism?
See, that was a theory I was having, that if it kind of it's kind of like a Gatling gun,
Okay, yeah.
like the old ones with a crank on it, sort of thing, that it's just gonna keep going even though it's empty. It's not healthy for the rifle. It's like dry firing, but that's kind of my theory. But it's one of those, like, it's movie magic and it's a futuristic weapon. So I kind of want to say it's because of the what's it called? It's some sort of like a mechanical thing where it's just going to automatically keep trying to fire, regardless of the fact that there's a cartridge in there.
Yeah, I'm starting to think I dispelled my whole entire like point right there, but yeah, I'm pretty much thinking it's just a mechanical firing mechanism instead of a gas fed.
Yeah. I don't. I want to think of another theory, but I just think that's the only reason why they would add it. It's just, other than the fact it's movie magic, it's just a fire mechanism we don't have her, because all of these are designed to be automatic anyways, not semi.
Yeah. Also, so the rounds on these things, each magazine. I'm sorry, it's not magazine. It's clip, right?
No, these are magazines.
Okay. Because what's different? I remember reading something about the difference between a clip and a magazine. Anyway,
okay. Quick way. A clip is like a hair clip.
Okay.
It has an open face on the sides.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, that's really the easiest way I've ever been told about that.
Goodness. Oh, so one thing I was trying to look up on this thing too, just from, this is, again, there's nothing on the Starship Troopers Wikia or anything like this about it, but it's probably the rounds, the capacity for each magazine on the Merida is probably 100 rounds.
At least,
because I mean, even again, I'm going off of just anecdotal, like, weird stuff, especially with the Fallout, the Fallout mod that has a Merida in it. It has 100 rounds in it. You can mod it like certain ways to have like 50, 25, 75, 100, or 125. But from what I've seen, from what the amounts that they have, you don't really see them reloading in the movie, except for right now, usually. But it's about 100 rounds.
Yeah. That's sometimes it frustrates me that we see cartridges now. Like the
magazines do not look big enough to hold 100 of those cartridges. I know.
Yeah. So it bugs me now that I've seen the cartridges and now I really focus on it. Is because how are you fitting that much in there without even a banana clip?
Mm-hmm.
Like, this thing is just Space Wizards.
Yeah, pretty much. One thing I'm thinking, well, you know what? It's a magazine of holding.
Yeah.
There it is. But no, one thing I was thinking of, the pulse rifle from Alien, you don't see any cartridges, you don't see any rounds from that one at all. You just see the clip and it goes up to 99.
Yeah, that is true.
So that's a little more believable, because I'm thinking, and the clip, the cartridge on that thing, I'm sorry, the magazine on that thing is small looking.
Yeah.
It looks like a 9mm.
I mean, even like when Johnny tosses her a magazine, well, no, if you have it alternate on the, instead of having the bullets kind of in a file where it's like straight up and down. Like,
yeah, it would be side to side or like kind of offset.
Yeah, but it it doesn't have to be 9mm.
Yeah.
So, but just the size of this cartridge is like only about like 10 inches max.
No, yeah, man, I don't know how they fit it. Again, Space Wizards probably. It's just really, again, yeah, it's bugging me too because I'm thinking these magazines. So a few of them, I'm looking at them again, going back a little bit. They do kind of look a little banana-y, but not that big. I'm thinking maybe at max 30 to 50 rounds.
Yeah, because, all right, so at like 32, 38, you can see the, like, it looks like an extended clip that Diz has.
Mm-hmm.
But the one that Johnny hands her, wait a minute. At 32, 38, you can see Diz does have an extended mag, but the size of the mag that Johnny has is the one that he hands her.
Yeah.
So maybe there's a couple different ones, which just doesn't make sense when you're making field weapons. Like,
Well, so I went a little bit ahead too, and I'm looking at Raschek holding up his weapon, and it does look like that extended clip that Diz has now as well too.
yeah, but Johnny just has the short clip, which is the one he hands her. So Diz does have a shorter, or I mean, Johnny has a smaller magazine than she does. But it still just doesn't make sense why you would hand out two different sets of magazines to all of the troops.
It doesn't make sense, but I think I have another theory on it. This is going to be the episode of theories.
Jesus.
Actually, it's not a theory at all. It's more of a production theory. Johnny's probably holding the prop Marita, the non-firing one, and that's a fixed magazine that isn't going to be movable, while the ones that do fire do have the detachable magazines.
I guess.
That's all I can think of. I mean, that's the only thing I can think of why they have two different sets of magazines for these guns. Like, maybe they have different rounds. Like, maybe they have an armor piercing, maybe they have a HE round or something like that. Maybe they have incendiary or something like that. But again, why would you have different amounts for different for different ammo types? I don't know.
I guess. It just seems so weird the way it's done. Well,
I mean, are you starting to get to the point where you're asking why are we going over this minute by minute?
Yeah.
Don't worry, man, we're almost done.
Because it's kind of ruining the movie for me. That's the worst part.
A little bit.
Well,
let's finish up this minute. One of the warriors does get over the wall and falls to the ground, but he is really jacked up. Even still, the warrior charges and does finish off a dude. It sucks because it's the same way that the other dude got hit in the back, but this time in the front.
Yeah, because man, the way this bug is taking a beating is intense. Because looks like a chunk of its one leg gets taken out. A big chunk in its back gets taken out. Its mandibles no longer in a straight line anymore. It seems a bit more skewed. And he's still going. And like you said, he charges up to this dude.
The bug itself has two legs, the only top mandible, and pretty much half of its head. And it's still attacking.
Yeah, and the entire back portion of the head is blown out.
It's gone.
Yeah. You can see it's just a green mess when it's charging at the guy. This must be incredibly frightening.
Yeah, because it's like the whole entire thing. I hate to go back to it. Actually, I don't, because it's such a great book. But World War Z, when they're all saying, "Oh, I hit him in the head. It didn't go down. I hit it in the head. They're invincible," kind of thing.
Yeah, you're right. This is the Battle of Yonkers, where there's a family that creeped up on the guy, and it was projected through everybody's video feed.
Yeah,
and everybody sees it at this point, that the kind of the carnage that a zombie can do. And this one is the carnage that one bug can do. It can withstand
one motivated, but yeah, sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, this is the rash trick of all bugs.
This is a very motivated bug. He is intent on killing, and he has every fiber of his being right now. He basically reared up his back before his two legs got, because right now, right at 1 hour 32 minutes and 57 seconds, he has only one leg. Every other leg has been blown off. Every other part of him pretty much has been blown off. He's just torso, mandible, top mandible, and one leg. And he just did like a death, I don't know, I guess a critical success roll /death save kind of thing.
No, because then he would be
alive still. Yeah.
I would say this would be the equivalent of a berserker.
Like an all-out coup de grace kind of thing?
No, the berserker, because a berserker can actually continue to have one more action even when it's gone through 0.
That makes sense. That makes a little more sense, yeah.
Yeah, so that I would just say that this is more of a berserker type of D&D bug.
Yeah, well, he destroys the dude's front. We don't see it that well, but it is kind of the same effect as the dude at the back. And as soon as that happens, all the other troopers rush in and finish it off, even though it's already done its duty. It's dead already.
Yeah.
Like, it's dead when it hit the ground, pretty much.
Yeah, and that's really where the minute ends at that point.
It's such a good ending.
Yeah, and there's still a couple more episodes this week.
A few minutes of this, yeah.
So, God, I need to shake this off. Woo! That was a good minute there.
Oh, man.
All right. So is there anything else you want to add?
I don't have any more theories.
You sure?
Yeah, I got some, but that's for another podcast.
All right. So where can they find you, Matt?
You guys can find me at AltMatt pretty much anywhere on the internet, from Twitch, Instagram, Twitter. I've been streaming a lot of Elite Dangerous recently. I just upgraded my HOTAS, and it is pretty fancy.
All right. And you can find me on Twitch and Instagram at JDASHD26. You can also find me on Twitter at OMG It's Johann. I've been streaming Monster Hunter World still. I just got the Wiggly head. If you don't know what that is, it is incredibly amazing.
I saw a GIF of an animated hunter with a wiggly head and two wigglers right next to him, and they're dancing.
Yeah.
And I was like, I need this game to come out for PC soon.
Yep, and I just got the Aloy full armor. So.
Oh, nice.
Yep. And you can
also the Ryu stuff.
I already got that.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I actually went to, because in order to unlock it, you needed a Street Fighter V save file. Mm-hmm. So I went to GameStop, got a used copy, created a save file, deleted the game, and kept the save file, and then returned it to GameStop the next day. When they asked me why I was returning it, I said, well, it's not my jam, and because it's used, they can take it.
Just game the system. You son of a bitch.
Hey, they don't give you that much on a trade-in. I might as well not keep it.
No, for sure. I mean, you probably bought it for like $20. They would have given you like 3.
Yeah. So you can also follow us on iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, Podcast Addict, what have you. Any way that you can get any podcast that you desire on your phone, tablet, whatever you do. Please like and subscribe us. Rate and review. That also helps us immensely. Visit our website, why don't you, at theroughneckminute.podbean.com for show notes and back episodes. You can also follow us on Twitter at roughneckmin, M-I-N. If you'd like to continue the conversation on our Facebook group, we have the Roughneck Minute Billet. If you want to counter any of Matt's theories or my theories or theories of your own, because there was quite a lot on this minute, go ahead.
I do have to say one thing too, and I need to apologize to our listeners and our Facebook group users. I've been really, really, really lax in updating the Facebook group. And I think the last episode that I have posted up on there was when Sugar was shooting the bug and had all the bug juice on him.
Oh, wow.
And I think that's the last post I've done, mostly because this new year and also being with my son, my wife, and having all these like family emergencies and kind of thing and family hectic things have kind of like taken me away from actually updating the social network. But that's going to change. I'm going to get right on it, and hopefully I can update it a lot more with cool stuff.
Cool. All right. So I've been your host, Johann.
And I've been your host, Matthew.
And we'll see you on the bounce, troopers.